Okay, my name's John and I'm the Ielts examiner for this morning. What's your full name?
My full name is Phạm Minh Hữu, but you can call me Sue.
Sue?
Yes.
Okay, Sue, thank you. Now, we're going to start with part 1, questions which are familiar to you and about yourself and neighbourhood. Let's start with keys. Keys. Do you always bring a lot of keys with you?
Actually, I'm not a careful person, so I usually put my keys in the place or under the vase in my backyard so that I won't lose my keys.
Okay. Now, that's a good answer to where do you put your keys at home. Have you ever lost your keys?
Oh yes, I remember that 2 weeks ago I lost my keys when I going on a walk with my friends, and when I returned home I didn't find it home and I felt a little bit nervous and I was scared that my mom would tell me off. But fortunately, she didn't do it. And when I called her to tell her about the incident, she just go back home and gave me a spare key so that I can open the door into my house.
Okay, that's good. Now let's turn to the topic of dreams. Do you remember your dreams when you wake up in the morning?
Most of the time I would forget all the things that I have dreamed, but there are some special dreams when I can remember some details. I remember one that heralded my first day in school, and in the dream I was a little nervous and I almost turned off my waterworks because I have to deal with a totally new environment.
Good. I'll stop you there because 2 sentences is enough in part 1. Okay, well done. Now, on dreams, do you like talking about your dreams with other people?
I don't really like it because to me dreams are just private things, and I only share dreams with people if they are involved to these people.
Okay, good. Do you dream in color or black and white?
I usually dream in color with vibrant pictures, and though they are clear in my dream, but when I wake up, I almost forget them.
Okay, good, well done. Okay, so that's our part 1 topics. Now we're going to turn to part 2. So I'll give you some paper and a pencil or pen, and you're going to describe an expensive gift. If you had a lot of money, you want to give this to someone, an expensive gift. So we want to know an expensive gift if you had a lot of money that you would give. So I'm going to give you 1 minute to plan. So you can start planning now, and then you'll have up to 2 minutes to speak. You can start now. Okay, so that's 1 minute for planning. So now you have up to 2 minutes to speak. You can start now.
Well, I would like to tell you a gift that I will give someone if I make a fortune. That will be a coat, and I will give it to my mother. You know, she has devoted all of her life to raising me up, and I'm really grateful to her. And the reason why I choose this present is that a necessary item in any weather condition, whether it is scorching hot or extremely cold. And not only do it protect my mother from the extreme effects of the weather, it also functions as an accessory to her outfit. Whatever she is wearing, for example, a shirt, trousers, it can perfectly go with her outfit. And I remember that when I was a kid, my mother took me to a market, and she was extremely fascinated and interested by a beautiful coat, but at the time we didn't bring enough money, and she had to spend money on buying my necessary items for my first day at school, so she missed her opportunity to buy that coat. So I will very apologize to that incident. So I hope that in the future, when I become an adult and I have enough money to pay my way, I will spend that money on buying an extremely special present for her.
Okay, that's just on 2 minutes, so that's good, thank you. Okay. Do you think that expensive gifts are necessary to give to someone important like your mother? Do you think expensive gifts are important?
I don't think it's the cost that really matter, but because when you buy a present to give someone, is the thoughts that count.
Okay. It was, can you repeat that? It was the
thoughts that count.
Thank you. The thoughts, okay, I've got it, thanks. Okay, now we'll move to part 3 about this topic. So we'll just take this one away so it's not in your way, and put this one over here, like that, and you don't need a pen, that's it. Okay. This is part 3, which is general questions and opinions. So it's not so much, it's not about you, but it's about general topics. First of all, is it easy for people to save money to buy expensive gifts?
I don't think it's a easy thing for people, because there are lots of aspects that people have to spend in their life. For example, the food, the accommodation, the vehicles. So in order to save money, they have to be extremely determined in order not to be tempted by other distractions.
Okay, good. How would you choose a present for someone when you don't know what they really like?
Well, I will observe their daily activity. For example, if I see that person usually read books, I will absolutely go to the bookstore to choose the book. But because I don't know what types of books that person likes, so I will choose the genre of book that I find fascinating.
Okay, good. Another question about gifts and presents. Who how does the receiver of the gift, how do they feel? Do they really think about how expensive the gift was? Does the receiver think about how much money was spent on the gift?
I don't really think so, because if I have to mention, is the cost that count. So if they are given a special gift, the first thing that pop up in their minds is the carefulness and the assiduity that that person had put into choosing the most preferable and suitable present for the receiver.
Okay, good. Now, also on this topic, but not so much gifts, but what about money? Do you think, in your opinion, it's suitable to give money as a gift?
I don't agree with this type of present, because I think that money is somewhat quite strange to give. They can give a sign that you are looking down on that person and make a bad impression on that person.
Okay. All right, that's the end of your test. Thank you, Sue. Now, today your score is between it's 7, but it could be 7.5. Apart from the 4 or 5 pronunciation mistakes, the pronunciation actually affected your fluency. I had to ask you about the word thought, because your pronunciation was nothing like thought. So you need to practice that, because I could not understand until I asked you again, and I was able to work out that the word you were trying to say, also the word adult, genre, these were some of the pronunciation mistakes which actually affected your fluency. Okay, so overall, your lexical 7 to 7.5, your vocabulary, the fluency was affected by the pronunciation. So pronunciation was 6, the fluency score was 6.5 to 7. Affected by the pronunciation, so it affected the understanding. Your grammar was pretty good. I didn't hear any mistakes in the use of tenses, but some more complex structures. You should try to. You had a few idioms, but try to use more idioms and idiomatic expressions and more complex sentences. But overall, your grammar 6.5 to 7. So overall, your speaking score would be 7. Okay? But you're very close to a 7.5, as I say. It was just those pronunciation mistakes. They were mistakes that affected the coherence. Okay? Scorching hot, so you've got some idiomatic expressions. That was very good. Okay? There you are. Good luck. So that's a 7.